everyone, welcome to Girl Talk Vlog. I'm Poppy and today here at Girl Talk we are just so excited because we have Clare Balding here with us today. So as probably most of you know, you'll see Clare on the TV a lot and now she is a brilliant author and this is her new book. So it is out now, so make sure you get it right away. It looks amazing. So today we're just going to ask you some questions, some of our Pop Jam questions. So let's get to it. This one says, I want to know if David Walliams or any other authors inspired you to do this book.
Probably not in the sense of David Walliams I wouldn't have read as a child because obviously he started writing not that long ago.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to tell stories and I love telling stories, and when I was a little girl I used to make up stories about everybody I saw. So in my head my teachers had this incredibly amazing secret life and everybody I saw on the tube or the bus or in traffic jams I'd make up stories about them, and of course all my animals could speak.
Yeah.
So they had lives and thoughts and, you know, pet hates or passions, and I would have long conversations with them. So I think it's more, I read a lot when I was young, and I read a lot of Roald Dahl and I read a lot of Enid Blyton, but I also read stories like Black Beauty, and there was American stories I read a lot about horses and about dogs, and that's what made me want to write for kids.
Yeah. So like the love for animals, did that like really inspire you to?
Yeah, definitely. And I wrote 2 books for adults, but lots of kids have read.
Yeah.
And the first was about my life growing up, and it's called My Animals Another Family.
Yeah. Do you have a pet horse?
Not anymore, but when I was growing up I had ponies all the way through, and I do have a horse that I sort of share with my sister-in-law, but I say sort of share in that she has the horse.
In your childhood, were you a goody-goody or troublemaker?
I fear, and Poppy, this may still be true, I was a bit of a troublemaker. I have this terrible propensity to say the first thing that comes into my head and equally challenge people that I shouldn't necessarily challenge. So whether it's teachers or now, and whether it's my bosses at the BBC, I tend to be at the forefront of the group of people that are, you know, but I'm fighting for their rights. Yeah. So it's okay.
Well, that's a good thing then.
I think so. Yeah. And I'd rather be someone who tries to take a risk and might get it wrong than someone who never takes a risk. Yeah.
So you've met lots of famous sports stars. Have you ever been starstruck, and who by?
David Beckham's lovely. And I was and he's got a really soft beard and he smells of lemons. And he's just really lovely. He's lovely. I did meet Justin Bieber, and it was a very odd experience because we were both on the Jonathan Ross show, where, by the way, I also met Kylie Minogue, who's lovely, and she was so sweet to me. But Justin Bieber, I thought I'd better talk to him because we were sitting on the sofa next to each other. So I said, "Oh, are you over here on tour at the moment?" And the answer was no. He was just coming over to promote an album, and then he was off again. And anyway, I'd been watching all these girls sort of screaming at him. You know how people are screaming at him, and I've been thinking about it a lot, thinking, you know what, it's interesting to me as a type of behaviour. What is that? You know, what does it mean? Is it like, you know, lots of, you know, when birds all squawk and what, you know, because they're scared, and obviously it's not that, they're not scared of him. So I said to him, you know, I said, "Oh, you're staying in such hotel, aren't you?" I said, "I know, because I saw the girls there this morning." And I said, "And I see them outside the building now," and we were at ITV. I said, "And they're all screaming." I said, "What do they want?" And I meant it as like this deep philosophical question of what is this about? And he just looked at me and went, "Well, ma'am, they just want me." And I thought, yeah, I suppose they do. That is the answer. But how odd to be the person, just like people used to be with the Beatles.
So have you ever made any mistakes on live TV?
Loads. Rather a lot. Some more shameful than others. Yeah, and actually I know now what I either rush and therefore make a mistake, or I'm trying to be funny. And obviously I am hysterically funny, but people don't expect me to be funny when I'm presenting the Olympics, because I'm not yet a stand-up comedian. One day that will happen, Poppy. I said it here first, and that whole tour thing, that'll happen. But I think sometimes if you're trying to be a bit too clever or a bit too flippant, you can say a thing that is not intentionally, but you know, just seems a bit dismissive. Yeah. And it's really important not to do that. Yeah. But I know that now, so I try not to do that.
So, do you think women's football is just as good as men's?
Oh, better. Just as good as. Why are we only setting that as the bar? Come on.
And should they get paid the same?
Yes. Right, here we go. I think, and I covered women's football for the first time this summer, and I'm a big believer in promotion in women's sport because I think it's very important for us all, girls, boys, men, women, to see women being allowed to be competitive and ambitious and strong and physically strong and all different shapes and sizes. Really important, and sport can do that in a very effective way. Women's football, here's why it's better than men's football. Generally speaking, you occasionally get instances of diving, but generally speaking, they don't cheat. Generally speaking, they don't argue with the referee. They don't fight with each other. They don't feign injury. They get up quicker from it being knocked down, and they know this because they've timed it all, than men do. The crowds don't chant abuse, homophobic or otherwise. The crowds don't tend to fight with each other or look to have, you know, to antagonise each other rather than watching the match. The players hang around after the game and sign autographs and have photos with their fans. And they are not paid enough. It's getting there. I don't think they ever will be paid as much as men, and I wouldn't argue for that because I think that's part of the reason that men's football has become what it's become. They're overpaid. Forget that. They're way overpaid. But I would love to see female footballers better rewarded, because I think more girls would go into it knowing that's a career option.
So Claire, could you tell us a little bit about your new book?
Okay, it's called The Racehorse Who Disappeared, and it is the follow-up to The Racehorse Who Wouldn't Gallop. So the same characters are in it. That is Charlie, who's a 10-year-old girl, and her two older brothers called Harry and Larry, who are awful. I mean, awful in a funny way. And their horse is called Noble Warrior, and in this book, he gets kidnapped. And that is not giving away too much, but it is very dramatic, so the challenge is on to find out where he is and how to get him back. And the trouble for Noble Warrior is that he won't go anywhere without his friend Percy, who's a fat, greedy, quite violent, vicious, badly behaved pony. So how have they been able to separate them to just take the racehorse? And inspired by a true life story of a horse called Shergar, who won the Derby in 1981 when I was 10 years old, and I remember him winning the Derby because he won by 10 lengths. And funnily enough, my father trained the horse who was second, and the jockey on my father's horse thought he'd won because Shergar was so far ahead he couldn't see him. I know. And a year and a half later, Shergar got kidnapped. So that is the inspiration behind the story. It's true, it's a true story, but obviously this is, you know, different circumstances. So it's a proper thriller.
It sounds really exciting. So Claire, can you tell us why you think girls are amazing?
Girls are amazing. Girls are amazing because we can do anything we want to do, be anyone we want to be, wear anything we want to wear. We can think of about 5 things at the same time. We can do about 25 things at the same time. We can laugh, we can cry, we can console each other, we support each other. I think girl power is very important, and that is based on women sticking up for each other, so I'm a big believer in that. And yeah, we kind of rock, I think.
Well, that was very inspirational, thank you. Well, thank you so much for answering those questions. Your answers were just absolutely brilliant.
Oh, well, thank Poppy. Brilliant questions, though, and well handled, so thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming in today, Claire. I just loved it. Thank you for watching that video. We enjoyed it so much. Thank you to Claire for coming in. We absolutely loved it. And make sure you subscribe to the Girl Talk channel. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye.